there, Jody here, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, on my channel I talk about Broadway books and television, and in today's video I'm going to be doing like a two-part series, I guess, a very short series of my favorite TV shows of 2025. By the time I put these videos up, it's probably going to be much later than most. I have a few spoiler-free book reviews that I really wanted to get to before I started this video, but you know, I just feel like doing it now, starting one of the videos at least. Am I rambling? Yes, I am. Am I really professional at this? No, I'm not. In today's video, I'm going to be going through my favorite shows as far as my 10th favorite show, and I'm going to get all the way to my 6th favorite show, and the next video will be my top 5 favorite shows. So without any further ado, let's get on to my favorite shows of the year. Part 1. Starting with number 10, which is Platonic on Apple TV. It is a comedy on Apple TV that stars Rose Byrne and Seth Rogen as Sylvia and Will, platonic friends. And this show proves that men and women can be friends in a non-romantic way. This year we saw the show's second season, and I do have to say, if I compare, you know, season 1 to season 2, I definitely think season 1 was better. That being said, season 2 was really great still. I still really loved it a lot. It was still a show that I very much look forward to watching every week. Still a show that constantly made me laugh with each and every episode. And I love this show a lot. I feel like not a lot of people talk about this show, so here I am talking about it. If you haven't watched it, highly recommend it. As like my favorite storylines this season, I definitely liked the Jeopardy storyline, and I also really liked how the show ended, which I'm not really sure if this is a spoiler, but for those of you who maybe haven't checked out season 2 yet and watched season 2 finale, I'll put spoiler up on the screen and then I'll take it off when I'm done talking about this particular part of season 2 for Platonic. The way season 2 ended was the possibility of Sylvia and Will going into business with each other, and I can only imagine the craziness that's going to ensue from that. So yes, very much looking forward to that storyline playing out in season 3. So end of spoiler for Platonic season 2 finale. Now moving on to the next show on this list, which is number 9, which is The Buccaneers on Apple TV as well. I really like this show a lot. Clearly it's on my favorite shows of the year list. If you've never watched a show or never heard about it, it's a television series adaptation of the book of the same name by Edith Wharton. I haven't read the book, but I'm just wanted to let you know it is a book adaptation, you know, in case you're interested in reading the book first before watching the show. But I didn't, because I've learned that I cannot read every book that has been adapted. Basically, the show takes place in the Gilded Age and follows a group of young women who are friends, who are from New York, who are all trying to find husbands. They are also in like high society as well. One of the friends marries someone and he's from London, so she moves to London with her husband after they get married, and the other friends eventually make their way to London as well, trying to find husbands there. And, you know, that's kind of what the show's about. The show also does involve, within season 1, like a love triangle, and then by season 2 it's kind of like a love square. I watched both seasons of the show this year. I was surprised about how much I liked the show. I was never really one for classical period pieces per se. What I really like about the show is that it takes place, you know, a very long time ago, but it's still a show that very much feels fresh and new as well. I really like the costumes on the show. I also really like where the story takes place. It's just such a beautiful setting. I also think that the way the love triangle and then love square is written is like really well done. It's like you're on the edge of your seat wondering how all these relationships are going to turn out. I haven't heard or not if the show's been renewed for season 3 yet, but I really hope it does, because season 2 ended on quite a few cliffhangers that I'm like, I need to know what happens next. Now moving on to the next show on this list, which is The Summer I Turned Pretty season 3. It was like the show of the summer, the show everyone was talking about every week, and it was just so much fun to watch this show this summer, because like everybody else was watching it, and it was finally a show I was caught up on when it was actually airing, like the episodes. So it was like so much fun to be a part of like watching the show's last season with everyone else. So I read the book series, I believe, a year before the show premiered, and if you're just curious, you know, did the book series live up to the television show? It very much does. Jenny Han did an absolutely great job with the series and the television show as well. It was like a really good adaptation, so just to let you know if you were curious about that. As far as season 3 goes, which is the season that is on my favorite shows of the year list, definitely the series' most over-the-top dramatic season that they ever had. To me, I definitely felt like the first 2 seasons weren't as over the top and dramatic. I definitely felt like season 3 was definitely much more over the top, but it was so entertaining and so much fun to watch every week. And I, obviously read the book series, so I knew how the show was going to end. The show didn't end quite like the book series because I believe there's going to be a movie also coming at some point, so I'm sure the very end of the book will be the movie. One of my favorite, most dramatic, over-the-top moments on season 3 is when Jeremiah is kind of like overlooking Belly's feelings and is all about like the wedding cake. And it's just the most hilarious scene on a show I think I've ever seen. He's just so oblivious in those moments to how he's treating her and like how, the cake is not that important in the scheme of things. But it's just really funny, a really funny moment. And it's a moment on a show that will always stand out. And I will always remember it for its ridiculousness. And I believe that moment is on the book when I looked into it. I read the book series so long ago that I really truly don't remember that moment in the book. But I think it is. And I don't know, it just was so much more present on the show, I guess, than when I read it in the book. It's clearly I don't remember reading that part in the book. But I read it a while ago, so, can't remember all the details of every book you read. But yeah, it was a really great show. I'm definitely looking forward to the movie coming out whenever that may be. Moving on to my 7th favorite show of the year, which is The Better Sister on Amazon Prime. The Better Sister is a television series adaptation of the book of the same name by Alfred Burke. It's a mystery thriller about 2 estranged sisters named Chloe and Nikki, played by Jessica Biel and Elizabeth Banks, who at one point in their lives were very close, but over time they drifted apart. Chloe moved to New York City after she graduated college to pursue a career in journalism, while Nikki stayed back in their hometown, Ohio. And it's there where Nikki meets Adam, a lawyer who she later goes on to marry and have a child with. And then you flash forward in the story 15 years later. Now Chloe is married to Nikki's ex-husband, Adam, and together the two are raising Nikki and Adam's son Ethan together in New York City. Despite their high-profile careers, Chloe and Adam live a very simple, quiet life. It's until one day when Chloe comes home to find Adam dead, covered in blood. After the detectives on the case go over the evidence, they seem to think that it wasn't just some stranger who killed Adam, but someone very close to him. I thought this was such a good adaptation of the book. If you're looking for an adaptation that lives up to the book, The Better Sister on Amazon Prime is definitely one of those adaptations. There were definitely a few changes here and there from book to screen, but overall it was a really great show. I'm going to talk a little bit about the changes that stood out to me that I really didn't care for. But before that, I'll get to what I really liked about the show. Jessica Biel and Elizabeth Banks playing Chloe and Nikki were perfectly cast. When I was reading the book, the characters just really felt like these performers. It's like I could really picture them playing the parts, and they just did such a great job with it. I thought the show was filmed really well as well, and I thought the pacing of the show was done just like the book, where it's kind of like a slow pace on the edge of your seat kind of story where you're really not sure where the story's going to go, but there's so many good twists and turns along the way, and everything was just really well done. The only things about this adaptation that I didn't absolutely love were some of the changes from book to screen, which was that Chloe is having this affair with one of Adam's co-workers whose name is Jake. And in the book, their relationship with one another was just so incredibly genuine and sincere. They really, really loved one another deeply. And on the show, after a few episodes, it started to seem like their relationship was kind of just like this fling, and there weren't any like deep feelings that they had really for each other. I really missed that aspect on the show that the book had with their relationship. And the other thing I didn't care for is the show ends on a cliffhanger, which is very different from the book, because the book definitely has a definitive ending. There's no cliffhanger whatsoever. That's fine. Book adaptations don't have to be identical or anything like that. Knowing about this particular cliffhanger on The Better Sister is that, I looked into seeing if there was going to be a season 2, because why would you end a show on a cliffhanger if you weren't planning for another season, or at least, hopeful that another season might happen? And I looked into it, and there's like no plans for a season 2. And, you definitely leave the show having even more questions. Whereas if you're not planning on doing another season, why even put that there? Because the show is based on a book, and the book ends with a definitive ending. So that was something about the show that I will say did annoy me. But there's always the chance that the show will get another season. It was very popular when it first premiered on Amazon. So who knows? I would definitely love another season just for that cliffhanger alone. I want to know how that came to be. Moving on to the last show that I'll be talking about today, my 6th favorite show of the year, which is Heated Rivalry. Be surprised at this point if you haven't heard about this series. It's super popular for very good reason. It's incredible. It's amazing. It's clearly one of my favorite shows of the year. It was a show that I could not wait to watch every week. It's just like one of those shows that you get addicted to so fast, and you're just like, I need more episodes and I need them now. The show is based on a book series. I don't know how many books in the series. I didn't read the series, though I have to say I'm definitely interested in reading the book series now. But they were really hard to find, I think, when the show was on television, like initially. So maybe I think it's a little bit easier to find now. So maybe I'll end up reading the series at some point before season 2. We shall see. So if you haven't heard about the show, I'll just give a brief overview on what it's about. It's about 2 hockey players who are in like a decades-long like love affair. The way that the show is filmed is so incredibly well done because the first few episodes there are so many time jumps and the show is so fast-paced. But then you get to episode 5 and episode 6 and the show definitely slows down in pace a little bit more, and you know, the characters have like these really deep and meaningful conversations with each other about themselves and about their relationship. And it's a show that definitely has a lot of spice. It's also a show that has an incredible amount of heart in it as well. I think the actors who portray Shane and Elliot on the show are just so incredible. They have such amazing chemistry on the show, and it's been so much fun to watch like the press tour of the show. Everyone on the cast just gets along so incredibly well, and you can tell they're such good friends, and that's always so much fun to see. So yeah, I definitely am excited for season 2. The show has been renewed, so I'm definitely looking forward to that along with everyone else. And yeah, that's going to be it for the first part of this 2-part series where I talk about my favorite shows of 2025. I'm not exactly sure when I'm going to end up putting up these 2 videos for my favorite shows of the year, but it's probably going to be way after most people put up their favorite videos of the year for things that they really liked in 2025. What can I say? I'm a bit behind on everyone else, like always. I'm always late on everything. So, you know, why not continue that for at least the remainder of my videos for 2025? So yeah, that's going to be it for today. Thank you so very much for watching. I hope they helped you discover a new TV show or 2 along the way as well. And until next time, bye.